So in this video, we're going to use masking and then use the high dynamic range section to reduce the highlights and fine tune the look of the sky. So the first thing to do is to make sure that you're in the exposure tab and the layer section. Go over to the plus and select new empty layer. Now let's go over to the brush tool in the layer section. Make sure the draw mask is on and always display mask. Now moving my cursor into the photograph itself, if I right click, I can take a look at brush settings. I'm going to move my hardness to 80, set opacity to 100, and make sure that auto mask is checked if it's not already, and we're ready to go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drag a closed shape around the edges of the sky, the top of the mountain, and the trees. Then I'm going to fill that, and then I'm going to use the refinement tool to feather the edges of the mask around the mountain and the tree area. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to left click and drag, come down. Now you notice that I've got the inner edge of this double circle cursor at the edge of the mountain. I do that because I wanted to use the intelligent selection capabilities of auto mask. Now back over to the layers section, the three dots. We'll choose fill mask, and you'll notice because I drew a shape that is closed, it filled the entire area for me. Now I'm going to go back to the three dots in the layer menu, and I'm going to choose refine mask. Right now you'll notice it's set at 300, and I'm going to leave it that way. I like how it's just gently overlaying the edges of the mountain and the trees, and that will give us a much softer transition between those two. I'm going to click apply. Now I'm going to turn the mask off by clicking on the paintbrush tool and choosing never display mask. Now remember, I could have pressed the M on the keyboard. I can do that to turn it off and on. With that selected, I'm now going to go into the high dynamic range section, and I'm going to dial down the highlights for that. I'm going to go to saturation and bring that up a little bit. I'm going to bring back the brightness a touch. I'm going to try contrast. I don't want to do too much. And even play with exposure a little. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to where it says layer 1 and type in sky so that I know what that layer is all about. So here's with the sky layer off, and here's with the sky layer on.